Hillary Clinton was accused by Juanita Broaddrick of
having that team around,
of threatening her.
Yep.
After Juanita Broaddrick said she'd been raped by Bill Clinton.
Yes.
I've not heard anybody ask Hillary whether or not it's true or false.
Yep.
People think that Hillary Clinton has committed murder multiple times. I've heard that.
My point is that there are a lot of no-fly zones the media has when it comes to protecting people on the left, and this is not uncommon. I couldn't care less whether Obama is gay. I couldn't care less whether or not Michelle is Big Mike. I think Obamacare is an abomination. I think what he did on race relations set this country back. That's what I care about.
Yeah, you're a policy guy. But that's the exact... If I asked Trump that, he'd be like, yeah, he's probably gay. Yeah, Michelle's probably a man, and that's why he gets eyeballs.
I don't think Trump would say that. Trump even conceded...
Trump has said way worse things about way less people.
Even conceded that Obama was born here after spending money to investigate all of
the
that.
birth certificate.
He started the whole birther claim.
Well, he was trying to win.
How nice of him to concede that.
No, he did not start that. Hillary started that, 2008.
Okay. That's correct.
Well,
bingo.
He promoted the hell out of it.
Game change. She started it. Sidney Blumenthal was her top aide. He goes to the McClatchy newspapers and says, Obama is not from here. He was born in Africa. And a guy named James Asher, you can look it up, took the advice seriously, put somebody on it, and they tracked it down. They found nothing to it. It was Hillary's campaign that started it. And everybody assumes Trump started it, but he did not. Hillary did it.
Yeah, but nobody knows that. Meaning, like, I think you're probably right.
Now they do. Millions of people now do.
That's true, but everyone thinks...
So I've done a service. If nothing else, I've done a service.
If you did a poll right now of who started the birther claims, I would say 90% of people would say Trump.
So many things about Donald Trump are just not true. For example, in November 2016, I think it was around November, before the election anyway, Bloomberg poll, the number one reason that likely voters gave for not liking Donald Trump is that they felt he had demeaned a disabled reporter, mocked a disabled reporter. Mm-hmm. He did not. We're talking about a guy named Serge Kovaleski, who wrote for one of the big newspapers. And Donald Trump publicly said that people cheered the fall of the Twin Towers. And nobody could find a story. And then he found a story. And they went up to Serge Kovaleski, who wrote the story, and said, did you see this? He goes, well, I sort of did. Well, I wasn't sure there were that many. And so Donald Trump mocked him in a town hall. He wasn't mocking his disability. And by the way, the guy doesn't go like this, which is what Donald Trump did. The guy has an atrophied arm, but he doesn't go like this. And Donald Trump did not mock him, but that's what people believe. There's a website called Catholics for Trump, where Donald Trump has used this gesture to mock himself, to mock an able-bodied general. Mm-hmm. It's what Donald Trump does because he's a stand-up comic. It's not true. Just as it's not true that Donald Trump said there were good Nazis and bad Nazis on both sides regarding Charlottesville. Even Jake Tapper, 2 years later, said, went back and looked at it. He wasn't saying that. He was saying there are good people and bad people on both sides of the debate on whether or not there should be a Confederate monument in the public square. But that's what a lot of people feel. Well, and the other big thing that people think about Donald Trump is that he was leading an insurrection on January 6th when, as you pointed out, what part of I want you to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard don't you understand? So many of the things that people hate Donald Trump's guts for are simply flat out false, including that he started the birther movement. He did not.
Well, this goes to the bigger question about the media. I actually agree with you.
Can you actually verify the Hillary Clinton birther versus
Absolutely.
Trump? Because there's a lot of people that believe Trump started it. Can you pull this up?
There's video of Morning Scarborough, Morning Joe show, where a guy named John Heilemann co-authored the book called Game Change is on.
Yeah, John Heilemann. Yeah.
John Heilemann.
Can you find that?
And Harold Ford is on the panel. And somebody mentions that Hillary started. He goes, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And Joe Scarborough turns to John Heilemann and said, well, John, you wrote the book, Game Change. What's the truth? He said, I'm confirming the notion that it was Hillary Clinton that started it. John Heilemann said that.
Well, it's only 10 years too late.
Can you find that clip if you could, Rob? If you can somehow...
Yeah, that's it. Joe, right there. Joe, Obama Muslim talk started with Hillary.
2015.
Right there.
And then this talks about the birther as well with Hillary.
Can we play this?
Well, the whole birther thing is Obama's from Africa.
Yeah. Can you get audio or no, Rob?
I mean, God, you see that interview? I mean, the Clinton team wrote the questions. I mean, for obviously, that was stunning. It was stunning. She is asked on Face the Nation about who at the State. She said the State Department authorized it. No, there was Dickerson didn't follow up with a question. Who at the State Department?
Well, that's because the campaign did not allow that.
Because
you know that this interview was set up so that certain questions on policy were required for a certain amount of time, and then they could go into emails for a certain amount of time, and then they.
Can you fast forward a little bit to see if this is the one, Rob? Just kind of fast forward.
It was textbook planned out. I can see.
Very rich. Now listen.
He says he is.
By the Clintons. That is the truth.
Harold,
go back a little bit. Go back 20 seconds.
That's it.
This started with Hillary Clinton, and it was
go back 20 seconds, Rob. You go back 20 seconds. Right there. That's good.
For spreading the rumors.
Okay, go back 10 more seconds.
Obama.
This was the one. Yeah, right there.
I can say one other thing too.
Here we go.
It was rich this weekend. I guess we have to get our digs in on Hillary Clinton here because I thought we were going to get through a segment without talking about her.
Oh, well, she's
but for Hillary Clinton to come out and criticize anybody for spreading the rumors about Barack Obama, when it all started
on 60 Minutes,
when it all started with her and her
She's a
campaign
pro.
passing things around in the Democratic primary. Rich, now listen.
He says he is.
The Republicans are wrong for doing what they're doing. This started with Hillary Clinton. And it was spread
good for Morning Joe for saying this.
I'm shocked.
Back in 2008.
I don't even know.
That is the truth.
Harold,
I don't believe.
Don't.
But Mika, you can't tell me to stop when the two of you are making comments. It'd be different if you have if there's a basis, an actual evidentiary basis for what you're saying. Then I would agree with it.
That they're the ones that spread it in 2008.
That spread what in 2008?
That Barack Obama may not be a Christian.
Well, we should ask Heilman this question.
Watch this.
That's John Heilman on the right.
Heilman
historian of the 2008 campaign.
I don't recall that, but if you're telling me that was the case, I just don't recall.
John Heilman?
It was the case.
It was the case. Thank you, John Heilman.
Didn't she go on 60 Minutes and not actually say no? So he says he is.
I'm offering my.
What was that?
I'm affirming the Scarborough-Brzezinski.
Okay, do you know about this CBS interview? Was that rigged?
I don't know anything about. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what happened. I don't know what happened
the campaign
and John Dickerson.
I don't know what happened on that interview either, but you do recall that a week earlier she went on Andrea Mitchell, and it was all emails all the time for the first 20 minutes of that interview.
That's pretty
so she has done interviews.
Scott, you can stop it right there.
So you were right.
Of course, but more importantly, a guy named James Asher, ASHER, who worked for McClatchy,
pulled that up.
Said that Sidney Blumenthal approached him and said Obama is not from here, and he tracked it down and found nothing to it.
Got it.
And Sidney Blumenthal is Hillary's hatchet man.
You know what's interesting about that is that was in what year, Rob?
15.
That was 2015. This was the year I literally used to watch Morning Joe and Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, John Heilman, and everyone that's on there literally every morning for 2 straight years, okay? And this was when Joe Scarborough was actually a friend of Donald Trump. So was Mika Brzezinski. He was at their wedding.
Joe Scarborough used to be a Republican.
Correct.
Yeah. So and used to demean Al Sharpton, signed a resolution, introduced a resolution calling Al Sharpton a race hustling demagogue.
Right.
And now they kiss each other's butt.
Well, he's on his show every
amazing.
morning.
It's
on
amazing.
his show.
Yeah.
But this is my point.
The Reverend.
Thank you. This is my point. In a few short years, from 2016 to the Trump election to basically where we are today, the media has completely gone to different sides.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Completely gone to different sides. So here's my question. The media has already done this. If there's one thing I've learned since Trump has been elected office, that the deep state is real.
Absolutely.
And they do not want Donald Trump to be president. They didn't want him in 2016. Right. They didn't want him in 2020. They did everything in their power to get him out of office.
Right.
And they're going to do everything in their power to do it again in 2024. So if he is elected, which is 50-50 at this point, they're going to do everything in their power to belittle his candidacy or his presidency. He's a racist, he's white percent, Russia, this, that, the other. They're going to play clips of January 6th. It's just going to happen over and over and over again. How does someone like Trump combat the media, big tech, Hollywood? How does he even go against that at this point?
The good news is, I said I was a cautious pessimistic, but the good news is Donald Trump, Republicans now have almost half the Hispanic vote. Donald Trump got elected with 8% of the black vote in 2016. When he ran in 2020, he got 12%. That's a 50% increase. He got 20% of the black male vote. People are waking up. They're seeing the nonsense. And they're seeing their pocketbook. They go to the gas station, they go to the store, they're paying a lot more for the same stuff. And you can call Donald Trump all sorts of names if you want. All I know is I'm paying a lot more for gas. I'm paying a lot more for chicken, for bacon, for milk, for egg, for cheese than I did before.
Yeah, but that's grassroots. How do you handle the top? Okay, so there's bottom up and then top down. So the top down, the media, Hollywood, big tech, FBI. Everything, even clearly the deep state. How does he combat that? Because the fear is it's just going to be this antagonistic, vindictive relationship.
The good news, the trust in the media has never been lower, and that's because Donald Trump has popularized the expression fake news and disinformation. You combat it by telling the truth and by standing your ground, which is why people love Donald Trump so much. He's a fighter.
So it sounds like even though you're running for president, he has your vote.
If he becomes a nominee, he has my vote. I would rather be the nominee, and I'll ask him to be my running mate.
By the way,
Donald Trump will be your running mate.
Even though we just verified by Democrats that the birther was started by Hilary, can you show the poll how it's doing, Rob? I'm just curious to know because some people want to believe this. They have to believe this.
Of course, because they can't admit that they're wrong.
They can't handle the truth from the movie.
You can't handle the truth.
Okay, go to the poll if you can, Rob, just to tell us if you can show us how the poll is doing percentage-wise.
Even Hilary once attacked Donald Trump for starting the racist rumor that Donald Trump...
Zoom in a little bit so we can see it. Zoom in a little bit. 24% still believe it's Trump.
Yeah. 25%. Even though you just showed, like 8 minutes ago.
Well, that's our poll, right?
That's our poll.
Okay, 76% believe that.
For
Hillary
sure.
started.
But think about it, 25%.
But what she's trying to say is imagine a poll of people that are not watching the show.
Can you find a poll of people asking who started the birther thing?
There's a regular poll.
I assure you, the majority of Americans, especially Democrats, believe that Donald Trump started it.
And while he's looking for that later, I think something that you said
and there's no question Donald Trump promoted it.
Of course.
But starting it, he did not start it.
Well, sometimes they say you don't want to be first, you need to be second. Right. So, like, look at MySpace, defunct. Look at Facebook. They're trillion-dollar company. And Trump was second. He was the man.
By the way, you have to give Hillary credit because she's the first one that said it's the election was a fraud. First one that said birther. First one.
Yeah.
Russia. The way this woman is
email, like she's untouchable.
Master of deception.
30,000 emails. Poof, gone.
Holy moly.
How is she?
Pays for the dossier, nothing.
But Obama made her Secretary of State, Larry Elder.
Yeah, because he knows she's a killer. He knows what's up.
Goes to Juanita Broderick and says, you better keep your mouth shut or else. Nothing.
And Larry, how is she so untouchable? Can you explain that to me? Like, I don't get.
She did lose the election against Donald Trump in 2016 because her unfavorable ratings were as high, if not higher, than Donald Trump's. They kind of offset each other.
Wow, but I'm saying, how is she? Is she that embedded with the FBI and the DOJ and she can literally kill someone and get away with it, literally,
allegedly,
allegedly, literally.
Well, I'm not going to concede about that part, but yeah, of course. I mean, the DNC was fixed for her. Donna Brazile gave her campaign questions. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Debate questions to make sure she was going to win the nomination. Look, there's a conspiracy of interest with the media, Democratic Party, big tech, Hollywood, academia, and we're against. And they're united against Republicans. They believe Republicans are bad people, are evil people, only care about the rich. That if you are pro-life, you're anti-female. If you want strong borders, you're a racist. That's how they feel.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.